All right, welcome back to From the Ground Up. This is a podcast for Dow Smith Company employees, clients, and friends. Dow Smith Company is a design build company here in beautiful Smyrna, Tennessee. We design and build churches, medical facilities, and commercial buildings. I'm Taylor Loyal, the host of the podcast, and today we have our safety coordinator, Jason Tigg.
Man, I'm just happy to be here, Taylor, man, and just chop it up today and talk a little bit about safety.
Well, let's start with this. I recently read that the National Safety Council said construction is among the most dangerous industries in America, and actually has the highest number of workplace deaths. And I,
That's
I, I blame you for that.
well, well, you know, hey, I don't even know what to say about that. Well, hopefully that doesn't, that doesn't paint the broader picture. There's a lot of things that go on with construction each and every day that can put our workers at risk of getting hurt and injuries. Lackadaisical complacency and just doing repetitive things each and every day could cause us that one time or someone getting hurt. It's just how it happens.
What are some of those things?
Man,
You're,
falls,
yeah.
yeah, falls, electrocutions, you name it, struck by. Those things happen each and every day on a job site around the world. So our job is to go around and train and talk about it to make sure that we just bring safety to top of mind and we can get things done.
That's what, so I was actually going to ask you, you said our job, what's and kind of walk me through, it may be more of a typical week than a typical day, but what's a typical day kind of look like for you?
Typical day for me is always I first start off the day just studying, reading OSHA. OSHA, I get an email from OSHA each and every day that I read to kind of keep me up with what's going on out there in the construction world. From there, I always go back and see what's hot. So you got to think about it. Each month, we take data in. Data comes from OSHA. It could come from what's going on in the construction area, and that's how I kind of guide my talks around that and set my weeks about where we're headed. That data tells me, hey, falls is the thing that's going on right now. So I might focus my talks on falls.
Is that based on like season or weather, or like if it's snowy and icy, you're thinking more about
Not
safety
necessarily,
there, or
not
like what?
necessarily seasons of weather. It's pretty much based on statistical data that we get from the industry. It could be where summertime, you see when I wrote the article, it's extreme heat. It could be to where it's electrocutions. It could be to where we talk about slip, trips, and falls when construction projects start. There's different areas of data that shows at this point in time that we need to be discussing these type of things that could go on job sites.
Are there different types of things that could happen, say, at the beginning of a job, at the middle of a job, at the end of a job?
Oh yeah, and that just how the project starts from the ground up. So let's say, for instance, when we're delivering materials the first day, or we go from excavation starts, that's when those things can happen. As far as not wearing seat belts, not having a spotter, power lines while we're doing our excavations, to ditches, to trenches, then to having our materials dropped off. The building itself dropped off from them putting the building together. Each step of the way outlines a danger, specific danger that could occur on the job.
Wow. And so, because we have at Dow Smith Company, we have multiple jobs going. All of them are at different phases. That's got to be a lot for you to wrap your head around,
It
because
is.
you're given different speeches, different places, but maybe all in the same week or the same day, right?
It's a lot. It's a lot of planning that goes into it, but hope with our relationships in the field, it guides us and keeps me kind of focused on what I need to talk about to who, because I know what stage that job's in, so I know exactly where to pinpoint my discussion at with that superintendent and subcontractors.
And because I think one of the things that's, I don't know how unique it is about us, but I mean, we self perform a lot of things. We have like our techs in house that do a lot of things. Our superintendents probably, you could tell me, but I feel like self perform more things than maybe some superintendents would on some job sites. So does it make it more helpful to you to at least know, like, I know I'm talking to this person. I know what they're capable of. They already know this speech. They know to avoid these things.
So self perform, I don't know how to say it, but our self performance things that we do on the job sites with our superintendents, our Dow Smith guys, they get it the most. If I'm talking to anybody else, I'm talking to our guys specifically because
They're
they're our guys.
knuckleheads.
They're not much knuckleheads. They're our guys, and we set the tone on the job site. Our guys set the expectation and standards when they go out and wear Dow Smith stuff. They set the expectation and standard over the whole job site. So what these guys do is they set the tone in the field on our subcontractors, how they maneuver and move, and our expectation. So when I'm speaking to them, I want them to be specifically safe. I want them to be strategic in their approach, and I want them to be the safest guys on the site. Why? Because they represent our brand, and our brand is safety is our number one goal, and they represent the brand. So I've talked to them the most probably out of anybody else on the site.
Yeah, and I would imagine for you, safety is what you live and breathe and think about all day. But for them, it's like one of 100 things that they have to remember.
Right.
How do you deal with um, how do you make that like top of mind for them all the time? When they got not just you, but a lot of people coming to them all the time saying, we need this, we need that.
You have to make safety. First of all, safety is a culture thing. It doesn't start. It starts each and every day. You think about it, Taylor. We're safe every day. We lock our car doors. We lock our houses up. We set our alarms. Safety really truly starts when you leave your house. For us, we try to make it to where, listen, man, safety is the top of mind. If you lock your car, you protect yourself. If you put on your seatbelt, you're safe. So
Yeah.
what's the difference when you get out to a construction site, your hard hats on, whatever materials that you're handling that day, hey, you've got those materials. Safety is just we do it each and every day anyway.
You're talking about habits, really,
Just
right?
habits, setting
Like
the
if you
culture
can
and
just
tone.
get in
Yeah.
like the same way you put on your seatbelt. What would be like a good example of a habit that you've seen maybe somebody didn't have, and then they had to get in just like the routine of like, oh yeah, I got to remember I always do that.
Yeah. I say for construction, and I know everybody's gonna hear me say it, but it's hard hats. Think about it. I mean, the first thing you do I'm a ball cap guy.
Me
And
too.
I get
Yeah.
out of the truck, I have a ball hat on, and I go right in that job site with things that are flying around, and I reach up and notice right away, man, I don't have my hard hat on.
And if the safety coordinator
Yeah.
doesn't have the hard hat on,
And they give it to me too. We've said it so bad, they pointing at that head, they pointing at it for me. But if I had to give an easy example of our guys not following something or something that they can easily forget, it's a hard hat.
but the guys that you see that are always wearing a hard hat, I bet they don't give it any more thought than they give putting on their seatbelt or
Not at all.
or whatever.
Not at all. And they keep it on their front seat. They keep it's where they position it, but it's safety. It's in their culture. It's ingrained in their minds. On that's what they wear, just like boots. We don't wear tennis shoes on the job site. It's just like your boots. I mean, some things that you start the day off with that you have keep you right there in line with safety.
What is the not just hard hats, but maybe using that as an example? Like, what is the resistance to safety practices? Is it I forgot? Is it that adds minutes to my day? Is it what?
I think the biggest resistance is safety takes time, takes away time. you think about it, we're all on schedule and we're all on a time frame to get something done. And in our, we think about cutting a corner. If I can just do this way, I've done it this way 1,000 times, and I want to complete this project the fastest I can, I'm going to look for ways to do it and could potentially cut a corner. So in safety, the reason why some people will not follow safety guidelines, it's not that it's, could get them hurt. It's actually they're looking at that extra safety step could cost them time in completing the project. That's one of the biggest things that I see as I get to these job sites.
Do you feel like that happens more at the end of a job when we're really like we're trying to close out everything?
No, I think it's from the beginning to the end. I mean, you look at a job, it's just like you think about it. If you're starting a project at your own house, the first thing you're gonna do is stand back and assess the situation. The first thing you're gonna see if you got your materials, you got your tools, and then that third thing I always talk about is time. Material, tool, and time. How long is gonna take me to do this project? And that happens, and we do that. We look at how fast can we do it, and then we look at ways, okay, I can do it this way. Maybe I can lean this ladder up right here and get in this corner instead of taking that extra 5 or 10 minutes to go get the materials we need to complete the job safe.
Yeah, everybody who's ever cleaned out their gutters has had that moment when it's like, I'm gonna go back down the ladder, move the ladder over.
Yeah.
It's like, how far can I
Yeah.
reach to grab more leaves, right? Like, that's so. I'm sure we have our version of that
Yeah.
constantly on job sites. Um, and speaking of ladders, officially, is it bad luck to walk under a ladder? I feel like you would know this.
You know what? I don't believe in bad luck, Taylor, but I've heard that to be true. And I'm going to tell you from a safety guy standpoint, I'm not walking underneath the ladder. I'm not walking underneath
It's
the
bad
ladder.
luck for you.
It's
Then.
bad luck for me. Something could easily fall, so I'm not doing that.
You had a great thing in one of our newsletters recently about ladder safety. Why did you pick that topic, and tell us a little bit more about it?
Just the time of year. We have neighbors and our friends. I'm looking out of my window and people are taking down their Christmas lights, and me being a safety guy, I'm looking down. I'm like, hey man, this guy's lean safe ladder's not, above the land in the right way, or he's got this A-frame ladder using it as a lean. I mean, somebody needs to go spot this guy. So I'm looking out the window and I'm looking at my friends in the neighborhood take their stuff down. I'm like, I probably need to put that out there because I can kind of see where, again, time, effort, and they're in a hurry could lead them to fall off. And we see videos, right?
Well, I think
Yeah.
isn't Christmas Vacation an instructional video
Yeah,
on how
to do it.
how to do it?
Yeah, that's how.
Maybe how not to do it.
Yeah, man.
But-
But people fall. I mean, we see TikTok, we see the videos, Instagram videos every day, and we laugh at them. But man, people fall off ladders, and man, it's I just felt like it was good at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's does that same thing that I experienced cleaning out the gutters, like does that happen on job sites a lot where it's like, man, it'd just be easier if I just reach a little farther
yeah.
than go all the way back down the line.
Yeah.
It's a time thing again, right?
It's a time thing again, man. It's just you trying to cut that corner. You want to complete that task, but then again, I say, hey, it's a repetitive activity, right? You've done it before. If you're going up to clean your gutters out, you've done it before. This is that time of year that you want to go up there and do it. You've kind of reached outside of your, ladder before and kind of got it over there, and you kind of done it. And you've done it before, and nothing happened. It's that one time you do it and something happens.
Yeah. What would be some other examples of that people like you can kind of get away with 99 times out of 100, but what are some of the things you tell guys like, I know usually this works for you, but there's going to be a day when it doesn't.
It could come from I'll give you a couple examples. I'll stick with ladders. It's not, carrying tools up the ladder, not maintaining all 3 points of contact when you're going up the ladder. It could be you carrying a handful of tools trying to get up the ladder. That's one thing. Next thing, just tying off, wearing your harness and tying off to something. trying to get to that edge or get to that certain point of that building and you're strapped down, it could prohibit you in, getting that last screw into the top of that purlin. So those are two examples I can give you where someone's trying to really toe that line and get that job done.
What are you thinking about these days? Like we're in hopefully near the end of winter and beginning of spring, who knows? But like what are you thinking about on job sites a lot lately?
It's just weather. I mean, it's not based on what we just had happen with the ice and the snow. Here in Tennessee, we have different seasons. Seasons can change in a snap of a finger. We go from snow to a tornado. We go from rain to excessive heat all of a sudden that we're not prepared for and our bodies are not built for. Things like that. So what I'm thinking about is now, honestly, Taylor, spring. You know, flying materials with, gusty winds. Are our guys paying attention to the weather before they get to the job site to know one thing, what they need to wear for one to stay cool and dry and warm right now. But then again, are we prepared to and for the seasons that are coming? That we got our materials hammered down or covered up on the yard. Are we at a point of the job where we're not up on roofs or not on top of boom lifts when it's windy? What chances would somebody take to push through a project when they really need to step back and actually plan better and look at the weather and the forecast to get the job done?
All right, last question for you. I think most people within our company know this, but you're like the king of spreadsheets. You're the people listening to this who don't know, Tig has facts and figures and numbers on every possible thing, and it's really amazing to look at. So in your experience, in your time of putting all that together, what does that data tell you about us at Dow Smith Company?
It tells us that we do a really good job at what we do. I mean, our culture, our creativity, and our company details are number one in it. And I'm not just saying that; it's true. Data's good. Data's good to lead conversations and change behaviors. It's what data does. But for us, when I got here and I took a look at it, we have a really good safety culture and we do a good job at keeping it top of mind. So all it does for me and the data that we use is guide our conversations to know what we want to talk about and to bring things to light that may show. It may be one thing that we may be a little high on that month that I could guide a conversation and to keep that down from something happening. Because it only takes us once, but we're really good at it. And hey, man, I'm not the king of it. I just done it. There's a lot of people that helped me out through the years, and man, I'm still not good at it.
Oh man, you're amazing at it. How did was that a thing that you've always done, or was that a thing that when you got here you saw we specifically needed?
It's something I've always done over the years, being, with the experience I've always had. And when I got here, we didn't have it. We had some information, but we just didn't have it defined enough to give us the details of what to direct our conversation. Because that's what really Excel documents and spreadsheets do. So there's a guideline to drive you into those areas so we can put an emphasis on the category that could be highlighted that we need to discuss. Pretty much is what it is.
Okay, my actual last question. What
Keep coming, man. I like it.
what does all that mean for our employees in terms of how safe that they know that they know safety is a big priority for us and that we're looking out for them, and what does that mean for our clients in terms of the results that they're going to get on a job?
I think for us, it's seeing is believing. I mean, I can tell you where our deficiencies are. I can come out and hold multiple safety meetings and say, hey, we are not real good at PPE. I could tell you that. But when we put the data together so I can show you trends and I can get it in front of your face, it's like painting a picture for you to understand. Now you get where my conversations are going and you can see where you stack up and where we stack up. And I think that's what works best. I think we do our work really well when we can see a clear picture and guidelines of where we're going and where we're headed. And I think that's what, honestly, what the data did for us here. For our clients, it makes it even better. It shows them that we're safe. You know, we keep it a top priority, and we know exactly what's going on in the field. We're relevant to know what we need to be working on. And I think it all ultimately helps our client because our job sites are clean, neat, and organized, and we're safe.
Awesome. Man, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I feel like we all learned a little bit. We all grew a little bit.
Yeah.
Really, really appreciate you not just sharing your knowledge with this, but with the whole company every day. It's awesome. So, if you guys listening want to know more about Dow Smith, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or you can check us out on our website, dowsmith.com. Thanks for listening.